Happy Monday. Welcome into Let's Bet It. Lauren Jabara, joined by two special guests today, Jared Smith, Alex Glaze. It's good to have all three of us together. How are we feeling after what was a crazy Sunday of NFL?
Crazy Sunday. A little lighter in the wallet, but a little not as light after the Chiefs game last night. That one was a positive result, but still a little chapped from Saturday, right, Alex? That Penn State game still has me a little bit.
Penn State game.
angry.
I mean, I had a good
against-
Saturday aside from the
Can't
Penn
against the
State game.
Wolverines.
Uh,
Can't. I know. You can't bet against the Wolverines, Alex. You just can't do it.
well, no, you actually can, especially in those big spots. Harbaugh, usually, beats himself in those spots. But ironically, James Franklin decided that he wanted to lose that game more than Harbaugh wanted to lose that game. So yeah, it was just kind of like a
Tough weekend.
brutal game. But
Yeah,
other
I'm
than
sorry,
that,
guys.
good weekend.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry about
No,
that.
you're not.
Alex.
Don't lie.
You're not. You're not.
No, you're not. Don't start the show off with a lie, Lauren.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm actually really happy that Michigan won, and we're moving on now to week 12 of college football. We have one more night of week 10 of NFL, so that's pretty exciting. But today we got a lot to talk about. First, we're going live at every single day now, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure to download the Pickswise app at the Apple Store. Like, subscribe, comment on YouTube so you can make sure you never miss out when we're live streaming and you can get in all the best picks before the evening comes. All right, today we got a full show. Monday Night Football picks. We have some red hot chili proppers, market correction Monday for our MCM, a new series we like to call Monday Morning Therapy because we all need a little bit of that after yesterday. We have NBA picks, and then we cannot end without our Pickswise play of the day. Are you gentlemen ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Without further ado, my friends, let's get it. Let's bet it. Monday Night Football, 49ers taking on the Rams. The Rams 7-2, 49ers 3-5, meeting in a Monday night matchup. Bitter NFC West rivals. Jared, I'll start with you first. Who you got for this one?
This is an interesting game. So I'll be honest, when I first looked at the line of this game, when I first looked at some of the movement of this game, I started to, one of those little red flags, started to raise up in my ear a little bit in my head, because if you talk about this game on paper, the Niners looked absolutely dreadful last week. They got blown out by Colt McCoy and the Cardinals. And this is a bounce back spot for the Rams after their, not subpar performance, but based on how good Tennessee has looked, I think that loss looks better and better with each passing day. So when I first saw this game, I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be maybe 5 or 6. Like, I think the Rams should be favored by more than 3.5. It was 4, and now it's going in the Niners' direction, despite everybody betting the Rams. So I'm a little bit concerned with laying it with the Rams here, and I actually think the over is probably the way that I would look at this game, because I think this is like the last stand for the Niners. This is it. If they lose this game, their season's pretty much over. Mm-hmm. So I kind of did something I haven't done this year. And I don't know if it's going to come back to bite me. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. It's only a half unit, so I'm not going crazy here. But I teased up a same-game parlay in a teaser. So I teased up the Niners to 10.5, and I teased the over down to 43.5. I like the double digits. I think San Francisco is going to kind of empty the tank here. And I do think the over, especially if it's below that key number of 44, and it's also right now below the key number of 51, which are the two most landed on numbers in the NFL over the last 5 years. That's kind of where I'll play it tonight. I don't love it, but I half unit to me, Niners and the over, and a little same game parlay teaser.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Alex, what you think?
I like that same game parlay. I might have to hop on that one. But no, I'm going to make my pick for the game later on, and it's actually my play of the day. But a prop that I really like tonight is Matt Stafford over 2.5 passing touchdowns at plus money. I think it's plus 144 on FanDuel. You're getting plus money. And before that Titans game, Stafford had gone 3 or more touchdowns in each of the 3 games before that. And, just kind of the narrative I see, the way I see this game kind of going, it's a perfect bounce back spot for Stafford to get right back on track, that offense to get back on track. This Niners secondary, not great. Josh Norman dealing with some ribs. Maybe he can go I think he's questionable right now. Not sure if he's going to be able to go. If he can't go, that's another big blow to that secondary that's already pretty pretty depleted. So I think Stafford's going to have a big game tonight. So I'll take the plus money and over 2.5 touchdowns for him. It's one of my picks.
I like it. I actually have so many props on this game. It's not even funny. Only one plop, though, that I think we're all on the plop.
We are all on this plop. Which scares me.
Anytime touchdown at plus 250.
We're suckers. We're all suckers.
Yeah,
I'll mention one thing on this. So on DraftKings, it was plus 140. I was doing some line shopping last night.
Plus 250 on FanDuel.
I know, which is always why you line shop touchdown props, because I've seen some massive discrepancies with these touchdown numbers this year. But I think the narrative makes sense, right? You know, how do you keep Odell happy? First game out, boom, feed him in the red zone. I think they're going to feed him tonight. I do.
I definitely do too. Another guy I think they're going to feed a lot is Cooper Kupp. Over 7.5 receptions is what I have. You know, story for the Rams receivers, right? You lost Robert Woods with a torn ACL for the season, but picked up OBJ. What does this mean for Cooper Kupp? And I think on Monday, at least, it's going to mean he's going to be targeted quite a bit. I think OBJ, they're going to target him, but he's only had a couple days to get acclimated to the roster, right? Van Jefferson is a good option to step up in place of Woods, but Kupp is averaging, I think, just under 12 targets, 8 catches per game this season, hitting the over on the prop number 5 times. I think he's going to do it again come tonight. And then I also like Matthew Stafford over 281.5 yards, minus 113. And then Alex, I'm also tailing you on the Stafford over 2.5 touchdown passes, plus 144. I love Matthew Stafford tonight. I know I've been talking a lot of crap on him recently, but you know what? Matthew Stafford come tonight is my guy.
He's going to come through for us. He's going to come through for us.
Exactly. This season, he's averaged about 308 passing yards, basically surpassing what the 281 prop bet is tonight. And he has a passer rating of 96.8, 1,171 yards, 8 touchdowns, and an interception in 4 career games against the 49ers. So I have a good feeling about him, throwing the ball quite a bit tonight. I think either Stafford rolls and the Rams win big, or they're chasing points and he's going to need to throw. But both scenarios, he's going to throw a ton, and I think both will hit. And then I'm also on the OBJ prop bet with both of you guys. I love it.
That's a family play.
That's a family play. Look at us.
That's a family play.
We are family.
We're not going to be alone in that play tonight.
No,
you're not alone.
That's the only Rams exposure I have tonight. I guess technically the over. I need the Rams to score a little bit too, but I do think it gets to a certain point in the season where if Woods is out, is OBJ, I'm curious how they use him. That's to me the question I have, because I know Sean McVay likes to make him, he's like this offensive genius mastermind, and he's going to want to, but also Kevin Stefanski was one too. I'm curious if they just put him in totally different spots. Are they going to throw him the ball in the backfield, make it he used to throw the ball with the Giants too. I don't know what kind of weird stuff we might see from OBJ over the last 8-9 weeks of the year, but I'm certainly, I got my popcorn ready for sure.
You know what? I'm hoping we get the OBJ Josh Norman matchup. We deserve that. Right?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Absolutely.
We deserve that.
Absolutely.
People what they want.
That was an ordeal a few years ago when he was in Carolina. That was an ordeal.
All right, we're going to move into some Red Hot Chili Proppers, and this is actually the first time that we're doing this segment with 2 of you guys. So I'm going to have you both. Jared, you're going to go first. Ooh,
okay.
Not my hair there. Jared, you're going to go first. Alex, you're going to
smack yourself in the face.
Yeah, I did. Just smack myself in the face.
Gentle.
It happens. It's Monday, It's fine. So I'm going to give a prop. Alex, you haven't done the Red Hot Chili Proppers before. You have 15 seconds to say over, under, and a little snippet on why.
I haven't done any research at all for this. None. 0.
Jared, you're going to go first. Alex, you're going to go second. Are you guys ready?
This is all gut for
This
Jared.
is all this is gut instinct. How does it speak to you?
Okay.
Is it speaking? Oh, this first one, I'm already in on this one. Matthew Stafford over under 281.5 passing yards. Jared.
I agree with your take here. I think over. I think this is going to be an offensive game. I think the Niners are going to be a little bit frisky tonight. So I think the Rams, who isn't Henderson a little banged up too? I think this is going to be a passing game for Stafford.
Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the over 2. Stafford's gone over that number all but 3 games this season, but I don't think this is as much of a lock as people might think. Only one quarterback's gone for more than 280 on this Niners defense this season. Any guesses?
Justin Fields. He had a good game against them a couple weeks ago, right?
Jared Goff. It was the
one.
Jared Goff is the guy that cracked the code. I mean, not Aaron Rodgers, not Russell Wilson. I mean,
crazy.
Jared Goff cracked the code. Week 1.
Did I get that right?
You did. You did.
Let's go. It's the only decent week that the Lions have had all season. So I'm
It's true. That was a fun game. That game set the tone for a crazy NFL season.
Now you're bringing me back to that game was not fun. But we're not going back.
Bringing back some repressment. We'll get to therapy a little later, Alex. Don't worry.
No, we'll get to Monday morning therapy, which I will hit hard and heavy on the Lions. All right, next prop. Jimmy Garoppolo, over under 1.5 passing TDs. Jared.
Over. I'll be honest. I think the Niners are getting a little bit. They're going to be frisky tonight. And I think Jimmy G. This is it. This is their season. If they lose tonight, it's over. So I think you're going to see all the Jimmy G gadget plays and the crazy, George Kittle routes down the middle. So I'll go over on Jimmy G tonight.
Alex?
I'm going with the under. I think that if the Rams are going to stay in this thing, Kyle Shanahan, they're going to lean on that run game. And I don't see Jimmy G. I don't trust Jimmy G. So I'm going with the under.
Darrell Henderson, over under 67.5 yards. Alex, I'll go to you first on this one.
I'm going with the under just because, like we talked about, the way that I kind of see this game going. Big Stafford game, 67 yard. I just don't see that for him tonight. It just doesn't fit with kind of like how I see this game going.
The Rams aren't a running team. Like, that's not what they do. Like, that's not their DNA. And I do remember Henderson because we were on it last week with Slop. He got hurt halfway through the game, came out, came back in. So I would lean under with Henderson.
Elijah Mitchell, over under 14.5 rush attempts. Jared.
That's a tough one. He's been good. He's been really good this year. He's had some really good games. But game script tells me this is going to be a passing game for the Niners. So I'll go under there.
I'm going to go over, and it's not just because Elijah Mitchell's on my fantasy team, and I'm hoping that is not influencing my decision at all. But just kind of like, I think Jared and I think we're seeing like I think I see the Niners running the ball because I think that they're going to want to put together these long drives, get to what they do, and keep Stafford and that Rams offense off the field.
I agree with that.
Run the football. Yeah. So I just
think if they're behind, they won't have the option. It'll be difficult.
That's fair.
If they get out to if the Niners get out to a lead tonight, you are right on that.
That's 100%. Okay.
Yeah.
George Kittle, over under 4.5 receptions. Alex.
I'm going over. He looked great last week coming back from that injury. 8 targets, 6 receptions. He's had 4 more receptions in every game that he's played this season. So Kittle's back. So I'm gonna go with the over.
He went to Iowa, right? Kittle, right? That was his. Didn't he go to Iowa?
I don't know. That makes sense. He does look like an Iowa guy.
Iowa tight ends. Yes, Jack says yes. I'll be honest. There's not a lot of Iowa offensive players that I'd be interested in betting on. I remember Sean Green for the Jets just broke my heart multiple times. But George Kittle's a guy that I like a lot. He's a fun guy to watch. I think when you talk about this Niners team, as Kittle goes, their offense goes. So I'll because I think the Niners are going to have a good night, a little frisky. I'll go over with Kittle.
Okay. Last one, Van Jefferson. Jared, you first. Over under 20.5 longest reception.
It's funny because I like the long reception props. I think they're really fun props, but I have absolutely zero feel for Van Jefferson, especially with I have a better feel for Van Wilder, I think, tonight. But I think I'll go under on Jefferson because I think it'll be more OBJ and Cup than it will be Jefferson. But who knows? Maybe he'll break one out.
Yeah, I go with the under too. We're thinking deep threats. That's Odell. I think that's how this is gonna go today. So I don't really have a feel for it either. But if I had to pick, I pick under.
From Red Hot Chili Proppers, we move to MCM, Man Crush Monday, Market Correction Monday. Every Monday, we always see the market overreact. Let's check in on some of the Super Bowl moves on FanDuel. The Bucks to win the Super Bowl, plus 550 to plus 600 after that. As what Bruce Arians said, embarrassing showing. He said stupidity, I think he said during his press game conference. He goes, it was just stupidity.
I have no words for that game. Alex, please save me from bashing the Bucs.
Every single year to Tom Brady and his team. They start out red hot, they kind of take a dip, and then they go back up towards the end of the season. Every single year.
This isn't really. I don't put this on Tom Brady. They got to figure out that secondary.
Yeah,
they need to figure out a pass rush, and they need to figure out that secondary. They're not a Super Bowl caliber team right now. I don't think that anyone's scared about of the Bucks anymore, and that's crazy to say considering how they looked those first couple weeks. But that defense is really bad. They got to figure something out on that side of the ball there because Taylor Heineke. I love Taylor Heineke, but he
was unbelievable.
He looked like a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's getting fitted for a gold jacket after. I mean, he needs to just play the Bucks every week.
Well, if he plays the Bucks like he did, I mean, he didn't even play as well as he did in the playoff game. Which
I was going to say, remember that playoff game? Yeah.
He just needs to play the Bucks every week. You're right. He would be a Hall of Famer. So I think when I look at like a week-to-week NFL team, it's so easy just to write off the Bucks. I'm not ready to write them off. I will say this: if you want to really have a interesting bounce back game, they play the Giants on Monday night next week. That would be, if they are going to show you that they're still a playoff caliber team, they take care of their business next Monday night, and we'll talk about that game, a week from now. I'm not worried in them long term. You're getting a slight discount in the market this week, down to 6-1. I still don't think it's enough of a discount. Remember when we saw the Chiefs get discounted down to 16-1 a few weeks ago?
Yes.
That's the time that I'd be willing to buy in on the Bucks in the futures market. Right now, I think it's just, all right, they lost the game. Let's see if they bounce back. Tom Brady threw 2 picks in the first quarter. That might be the first time in his whole career he's done that. So I think we'll wait another week, and if they bounce back strong against the Giants next week, I think everything will be back to normal with them.
The Cowboys to win the Super Bowl 12-1 to 11-1 this week after not just crushing the Atlanta Falcons, but taking them out back and throwing them in the dumpster, holding them to 3 points. What did you think?
Jeez, what's your hometown team now, Lauren? Be nice.
I mean, everyone that I talked to yesterday here in Atlanta, they're like, "Oh, I hate this team." No one had anything nice to say. So it's okay. Alex, what did you think?
I saw a picture on Twitter with fans getting on the plane after the game out of Dallas with the jerseys turned inside out. I mean,
oh my God, that reminds me. When I covered Game 5 of the Avs Calgary, it was round 1 back in 2019, and the Avs were the 8th seed, Calgary was the 1 seed, and Avs won in 5 in Calgary. And I'm not kidding you guys. I was doing these post-game interviews on the ice, and I was dodging.
Oh Calgary, yeah, you said. I remember that. You said the jerseys.
200 people that took off these
those are expensive,
and we're throwing them onto the ice.
It's crazy.
I know. I'm like, what are people doing? At least they turned them inside out, didn't just throw them in the garbage or something.
When I look at the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys are they the second best team in the NFC right now?
They're a half game back because they played they were on the bye.
I'm talking what do you think? Do you think they're the second best or the best? I think they might be the best team in the NFC. I think they're the most complete.
I'll say this: they're not as bad as they played last week. Yeah. And I don't think they're as good as they looked yesterday.
Agreed.
So I think they're kind of in between.
Yeah.
Their defense is giving up 6 yards per play. That's the 5th most in the league. That is not a recipe to beat Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, Kyler Murray.
They get the turnovers. That's the difference. They might be giving up the
tough to rely on those. But yes, I mean, they've been very opportunistic.
He's got an interception every week. I mean,
that's a crazy run. By the way, anytime we can get a Dick Night Train Lane shout out on the show. He's the guy that leads the NFL all-time single season intercept. I think Diggs might break it this year. I think
he's just on a crazy run. I mean, I really like this Cowboys team. I think they're the best team in the NFC. I think that when it's all said and done, they're going to be in the Super Bowl, which kind of scares me a little bit because you kind of trust in the Cowboys, but I would bet on them right now.
They've got a lot of karma going for them with Dak coming back and the Dan Quinn revenge game. I saw some great gladiator memes yesterday. I will get my revenge in this life or the next. But their schedule does stiffen the next 3 weeks. Chiefs, Raiders, Saints.
Yeah.
So we're gonna find out. I know the Raiders just got their butts kicked, but Chiefs at Saints, 2 out of the next 3 weeks. We're gonna get a good glimpse of this Dallas team. I don't think you could really judge them for the last 2 weeks because I think they're not as good as they were yesterday, and they're not as bad as they showed 2 weeks ago.
Alex, I know a team that you're really excited about, your Ravens, to win the division at -130. You love your Ravens, don't you?
That's a word.
Excited, that's the word we're using? I don't know. I think excited is a word I would have used maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, man.
I just want to see how you'd react.
Yeah, that division is one. It's really, really tough. shout out to the Steelers for that tie yesterday. Appreciate
Please,
that.
don't talk about it yet because I have choice
Oh
words.
man, Lauren has words coming up.
Appreciate that tie, but I mean,
I have some choice
the thing
words.
is, I think that this division, it's still going to come down to either the Ravens or the Bengals. That's how I see this kind of going, and I'm still. I think I would take the Bengals. Are they plus money?
Yeah, like 4-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jack's gonna love that. Jack's been the Bengal wrangler the last few weeks.
Just,
here.
Listen, the Ravens. I think people that aren't paying attention to them week to week as much as I am day to day.
I'm with you.
I mean, that Ravens defense is not healthy. They are not good. That secondary is atrocious. They are not getting to the quarterback. They can't cover anybody. It's just it's tough to watch. And I think what we saw in that Dolphins game is I think maybe teams have figured out how to beat the Ravens, and that's just zero blitz. The Bengals did it. The Dolphins did it all day, and no one could figure it out. I mean, I don't know what Greg Roman was doing. I mean, you're gonna get me on a rant here. I don't know what Greg Roman's doing, throwing screens for an entire half. You know what I mean? Just like it's not working. Like, let's get it going here. But the Ravens they're not a good team right now. Most of that's attributed to health. They're not a healthy team. I don't think they're a good team. And I don't think they're going to win the division.
Defense is. We talked about the Cowboys' defense. The Ravens' defense is worse, giving up 6.2 yards per play. I mean, how about that? The Ravens and the Cowboys, two teams that we're putting in Super Bowl contender category, and the Chiefs are in that realm too. Just the defenses is just. I don't think you're going to win games in January with those defenses.
The Chiefs' defense has been playing a lot better the past.
A lot better, as has the Packers' defense.
I was just about to say the Packers' defense
balling,
playing lights out right now. And that's why I think the Packers. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm talking about best teams in the NFC. Let me slow down. Let me slow down.
Alex is getting on a rant right now.
Second best team.
Packers. That's fair. We're doing the Back to the Futures this week. That's going to be the Packers. This might be the week to buy the Packers, but the Aaron Jones thing scares me a little bit. Because he's like, and I know running backs don't matter, but say that to when Christian McCaffrey went out and the Panthers went in the toilet for 3-4 weeks. But I do think the Ravens, when you look at their schedule, pretty relative. You talk about offenses that can take advantage of their bad defense. They play the Browns twice. Who knows if Baker's going to be healthy? They play Pittsburgh and Chicago. So it'll be interesting to see if Baltimore's defense can't play well against those four games against subpar offenses. Then absolutely, I am not buying into this Ravens team long term. I wouldn't lay juice for them to win the division. Right. That's a bad bet for me. I have the Bengals ticket at 4-1. I'm happy with sticking with that right now. I would say I pass on the AFC North this week because I agree with Alex. I think the Ravens have some internal issues bigger than Lamar Jackson that's going to hold them back long term.
Lamar Jackson's not the issue.
Of course not.
Sorry about the Dolphins. Sorry about the loss of the Dolphins. I'm sorry about that. Sorry.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean
that's the second time you apologize today, and I don't know if you're telling the truth or not.
I don't. It's not sincere. It's not sincere. It's not. Sincere.
You can tell because she's like, I'm sorry.
Bengals win total over under 9.5 games.
I would say over.
Bengals.
What's their? Hold on, I got to look at their schedule right now. I got to look at the Bengals schedule.
I think that if we're going to say that the Bengals could win the division, they have to win 10 games, right? Like that's.
I think so.
The Bengals have 3 tough games down the stretch: Ravens, Chiefs, at Browns, and I guess the Browns might be out of it by then, so that game might not be as tough.
But the Ravens,
and they also owe the Browns a beat down after what the Browns did to them 2 weeks ago. I think they're going to beat the Raiders next week off the bye. And I think they'll beat the Steelers at home. Then they have a game against the Chargers in 3 weeks that I think will be the one that determines whether or not they can win 10 games. They need to go 5-3 down the stretch. Yeah, 5-3 down the stretch. They play the Broncos too on the road. That's not an easy game, but the Broncos looked terrible yesterday. Yeah, I think they can win 10 games. Yeah, over.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I like it. All right, guys, this is a new segment we like to call Monday Morning Therapy, and I have my coffee. I'm ready to go because I need a little bit of that after that Lions game last night. First, Alex, I'm going to start with you on this one. What NFL team is driving you absolutely nuts whenever you bet on them? Like the one team, all your stats and research can say, yeah, this is going to freaking get the job done, but then they come up short most times.
Maybe this is a cop-out answer. There's not one team. This is just the entire league. The NFL has just
the
NFL in general is just it's brutal. It's brutal. I mean, all right. In what world do the Jaguars beat the Bills? In what world? 9-6. Where does that? In what world does Tom Brady come off a bye and lose to Taylor Heineke? What? I mean, this league is just crazy right now. I mean, listen. I would not lay anything. This is not smart. This is not advice. Don't listen to me. I'm not laying anything. I'm not laying 7+ points. I don't care what the matchup is. I'm not laying that. I'm not laying the number. I'm just not doing it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We've seen some crazy upsets, just crazy games. The NFL is just, it's wild. The more we watch, the less we know.
Yeah.
That's the NFL is it's really, so I sent out a tweet this morning. If you blindly, not doing 1 ounce of research, just woke up every day and bet $100 on every underdog money line in the NFL this year, you'd be up almost $2,000, $1,800, wow. $1,840, I think was the exact number.
Wow.
And again, I'm not recommending anyone just wakes up this week and just bets every $100 on every underdog money line, because eventually it'll regress. But that's the kind of year it's been, where someone who does no research, who just wakes up every day, has $100, boom, 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 boom on every dog, they're up 18.4 units. That being said, this is the NFL, so I don't really feel that there's like a magic bullet to bet it. I think it's just whatever you're comfortable with, because at the end of the day, you have to look in the mirror and look at what you're up or down and make sure you're okay. So just be, I guess, humble with your approach. Know that no matter what you bet, it can totally bite you in the ass at any given moment. And just be happy that we get this entertainment every week, because say what you want about the ups and downs of the betting. It is entertainment. And it is, I always tell this to people, especially when I go out on dates with women that love reality TV. I said, the best reality TV is sports. Hands down, 100% over and over again. In terms of yesterday, the Colts really were the team that I was like, what? They block a punt, they get out to a huge lead, and they can't cover a number against the Jags, who were brutal. That one put me in a little Monday morning therapy, because I thought I was on the right side of that game with the Colts, and the Jags still covered it because Indy scored 0 touchdowns in the second half after looking great in the first half. So that's the one that really bit me in the butt yesterday.
Guys.
Cheers.
I need to take a sip.
I don't have any, this is just water, but cheers.
Cheers. Let me tell you, the team.
Here we go.
That has me feeling some type of way every single week. Every week so far, I have bet the Lions money line.
Oh, no. You didn't lose yesterday. You didn't lose. But you didn't lose.
We have lost on an interception with like 10 seconds left. We have lost on a 66-yard Justin Tucker field goal. We have lost on a 55-yard field goal. We have lost on like a 2-point conversion. I don't know. We lost because like a freaking skydiver is coming in and like landing in the middle of the field. I don't know. There's like random stuff that's happening during Lions games. Okay. Jared, you said you have to look yourself in the mirror and be okay. I don't know if I'm okay.
Let it out. This is a safe space, girl. Let it out.
Are you kidding me with that game yesterday? Like, are you kidding me? A tie is the only acceptable outcome. The overtime was hilariously bad. It was hilariously bad. Maybe the worst overtime in the history of the NFL. 2 fumbles, a missed field goal, multiple missed interceptions, all in overtime. Both teams tried to lose, but also both teams were trying to win. Let me just tell you, the Fox big play of the game was a Pittsburgh Steelers fumble with 8 seconds to go to save the tie for the Lions. That's the play of the game. That is hilariously bad that the play of the game is a fumble to force a tie. Maybe the worst 10 minutes of football I've ever seen in NFL history. So I'm just going to leave that there. Have a sip of my coffee.
This is my new favorite segment, by the way, because we've been doing this show for over 2 months. That is the most angst I've seen come out of your system.
We're 10 weeks
that's good. Let it out.
The Lions still don't have a win, but they have a tie. They have a tie. I'm over it.
They do have a time.
I'm over it.
It's so perfect for a Jared Goff, Mason Rudolph game, though. Like
It really is.
it was such a fitting. It was such a perfect game. It was so.
I thought the Lions were going to win that game. That stupid kicker
Me too.
missed extra point and the field goal. The field goal in overtime. I've had drives off the tee that look exactly like that. Like they come out and they just like woo, and they're just like this like duck snort that barely gets 10 yards off the ground. Like, yep, I feel him. I don't know what his name is. I don't know. I don't really care. I know that they cut Matt Prater in the offseason. I bet they wish they had him.
Yeah, the good old worm burner. You hate to see
the old worm burner.
The good old worm burner. All right. Now that my heart rate's like beating like a baby bunny right now. It's like
take a breath.
Yeah. I don't know if this therapy is good for me or making it worse. I can't.
I think you'll feel better after the show. I think you'll feel better after the show.
That's true. I let it all out. Okay. Enough football talk for right now until we get back to our play of the days. Let's chat a little NBA. Alex, I see you're on the Suns tonight. How come?
Yeah. I'm gonna lay the 4 points with the Suns going against the Timberwolves. For me, I was trying to find a prop in this game. Actually, I really wanted to take the Anthony Edwards points because I love Anthony Edwards. Probably my favorite player. Yeah. No. Tyler Hero is my favorite NBA player. Anthony Edwards is a close second. But I'm gonna lay the points. These are just two teams going in two completely different directions.
Yeah.
Timberwolves. Not only are they not winning games, they're not losing like close games either. They're kind of getting blown out. And the Suns are doing a lot of blowing out. So I'm going to just lay the 4 points and not really overthink this one too much. Still early in the NBA season, still trying to figure out who's what's what, but I'm going to trust the Suns.
Yeah, we're only about 12, 13, 14 games in. Jared passes with a smiley face in our Google Doc. He has no bets on the NBA.
Well, I'll give you some games that are on the market radar because I only give out picks when I'm betting them, and I don't want to mislead the audience. I don't have the bandwidth right now, frankly, for NBA. I will eventually, I promise. But right now, I'm just kind of observing. I'm like a pacifist. I'm like just observing and watching
from the stands. It's
okay. There are two games that actually stood out to me in the markets, though, that I would recommend everyone to take a closer look at. The Lakers-Bulls line flipped overnight. Lakers opened as a favorite. Now the Bulls are a favorite. We all know the Lakers got their butts whipped against the T-Wolves the other night. So we'll see if they bounce back from that game. And the other game that I want to bring to your attention is a total that dropped 5 points overnight, and that's the Pelicans-Wizards game. Dropped from 213 to 208. That would either lead me to believe that someone's not playing in this game, or maybe there's some kind of trend that would lead me to believe that betting unders in the NBA. Good luck.
Is Brandon Ingram?
Maybe. But to me, when a total in the NBA drops 5 points overnight, I would definitely take notice. And then a 2.5 point move overnight, the Kings Pistons total went up from 212.5 to 214.5. Ooh. I see some 215s too. So again, just look at the markets. Sometimes they play tricks on you, but sometimes they give you the answer key to the test before the game really starts. So I would look at those three games tonight.
Yeah, you talked about that Pelicans-Wizards game. I'm actually betting the Wizards laying 3 in this one. Washington's, they've won 4 straight on a road victory, even without Beal on the floor on Saturday night, and Beal's had an incredible season so far up to this point. The Wizards playing much better than may have been expected leading into the season. And I think the deal that brought Harrell and Kuzma in exchange for Russell oh my God.
You can do it. You got it.
Circuited for a second. That was not okay. Russell Westbrook has paid dividends. Thank you. I have to slow down. Sometimes I just get so excited.
You're so geeked about this pick. I love it.
New Orleans is struggling right now. They're being dealt with a variety of injuries and consistency. Ingram missed 7 straight games before returning Saturday, but this team clearly misses Williamson, basically. But you said the total or the spread. Did you say was it the spread or the total?
Total went up
Ingram,
2.5 points.
I'm assuming he'll play because he's back.
Or sorry, it went down.
Yeah, I think so too. He missed 7, but he was back on Saturday.
Yeah.
But New Orleans just isn't the same team without Zion. They struggle on both ends of the floor. I think you look for the Washington Wizards to come up big with a victory and cover a 3-point spread. 3 points isn't
the market moved in your favor too overnight. I've seen 4.5 in a lot of spots now. So if you did get 3, you're a very sharp NBA bettor this morning, Mr. Barra.
Hello, baby. Let's get it. Let's bet it. Now that I've had like half of my coffee during the show, my energy level, usually it's like here already, it's like out of the screen at this point. So
well, didn't I think you're the one that said that you don't need caffeine, right?
No,
you're
but
already
I drink like 3 cups of coffee every morning anyways. I like that heart racing feeling. It's kind of
adrenaline junkie.
Woo! Speaking of an adrenaline junkie, let's hear our Pickswise 3-star play of the day. Jared, what you got for us?
It's an over. It's an over in the Heat and the Thunder. Again, if you're watching the show, I apologize, but Hermantas Kanita, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a newer capper. I haven't seen his name pop up on the site too much, but clearly he likes the over in the Heat Thunder. 210 and a hook is where he got it. Go to Pickswise.com, check it out, and see if you want to back the over 3 stars tonight in OKC. Sure,
Pickswise Nation, vote on your favorite play of the day on our website, on Twitter. Before we get into our best bets, we have a question. Johnny in the chat wants to know what you guys think about the Rams 49ers total 50.5 over or under. Alex,
Johnny, I like the over.
Johnny boy.
I think I like the over in this one.
And usually this is coming from a guy that bets the under on a lot.
Yeah, you are an under. You've been under guy.
No, I'm an under guy, but I like the over in this spot. I think that we'll get into it because I think it's just kind of like how I see this game going. Big game from the Rams. Just a big bounce back after a fluky. I don't want to say fluky loss because the Titans are good. But
Titans are legit, man.
Those 2 interceptions.
Titans are balling right now.
Those 2 interceptions were kind of.
They got crushed.
They spotted 14 points. I mean, that was kind of fluky. So I think that this is going to be a big bounce back spot for that Rams offense. And I think,
you have the Rams on this game for your best bet, right? I know I have the same exact bet, but tell us why you got the Rams.
Yeah, so my play of the day, I'm going to lay the 3.5 and go with the Rams. Just everything we've said on this show, just big bounce back spot for the Rams. I think that, everything would tell you, obviously the Niners bad week last week. I'm more inclined to believe that was more of a true result, even though it was Colt McCoy, as opposed to the Rams and how they lost to that Titans team. I think maybe a little bit of an overreaction here because I think that the Rams are just a much, much better team than the Niners right now, especially if Josh Norman isn't able to go. That secondary, wow.
You're all on the Rams tonight, huh? You're all on the Rams.
And he's taking it to the ice.
Well, I'll be honest. The puck picks have been calling to me this year. I have like 2 or 3 friends that are like super into NHL, and they give me really good information on these teams every night, and I love it. This is if you're gonna watch one game tonight, call me crazy. I know it's Monday Night Football, and I know there's a bunch of NBA games on tonight. This is a 2-time back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals rematch tonight. This is like arguably the 2 best teams. Not arguably. These have been the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference over the last 2 seasons, the Isles and the Lightning. So you're going to see Varlamov in net tonight for the Isles. And he hasn't played a whole lot this year. He's been injured. He's making his second start. But again, this to me, this has that big game feel to it. The Isles, though, they do play tomorrow night in Florida. So we talk about the second game. Yeah, we talk about the second game of a back-to-back being tough. Sometimes it's that first game that, teams, we have to play Florida tomorrow. I'm going to reserve a little bit of energy. I'm not saying that that's the Isles' game plan tonight, but the first games of back-to-back sometimes can be a little bit slower. The unders have been very prevalent for both of these teams. The Isles are 7-3 to the under this year. Tampa's 6-6, but 4 of their last 5. They've really started to tighten up the screws with Vasilevsky and net, and Isles have been great defensively. They've allowed the 3rd fewest goals this year. And if you had to bet a side here, I would lean Tampa because the Isles are 0-6 in their last 6 games against teams with winning records. But I like the under a lot more here. 5.5, we're going to go under. I saw laying 30 cents at win, 40 cents market wide. Bet the win line if you can get it. And I think this is a tight game. Let's say 3-1 Tampa, maybe 2-1. I think it's going to be a nip and tuck game between 2 of the best teams in the Eastern Conference over the last 2 years.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Honestly, the Islanders are one of those teams that, no offense, they're a great team. They are so freaking boring to watch because all they do is muck up the neutral zone and just pack it in defensively. And that's why they don't allow very many goals. It's like they make it so difficult for teams to score and create any sort of like momentum and intensity through the neutral zone. But it's so boring to watch. It's just like boring.
You don't have to watch it. Just look at the score and hope it stays under 6. Yeah, just as long as it stays low numbers. We don't want any crooked numbers on the scoreboard tonight.
Goaltenders, so that's gonna be a really good game. Tough back-to-back though for the Isles and the Sunshine.
Very tough back.
Big game for the Lightning. I mean, especially with the start to their season, they played well lately. This is like a big are the Lightning are they back?
Agreed.
This is a big game for them.
Yeah, huge game. I'm also with Alex on the Rams laying 3.5. I like this pick even before the Beckham signing, and I still like it after the Woods news. I think this line is definitely an overreaction to last week's primetime home loss to the Titans, which Alex said basically the not so good Titans team. They are pretty good, but I think this is not to take anything away from Tennessee, but they were gifted 14 points on the back-to-back Stafford interceptions, like you said. So
Kevin Byard, man, best safety in the league right now.
But the Rams still outgained them in that game, 347 to 194. Yeah. The game was a lot closer, I think, than the final score made it look. I always hate games like that where a team plays not horrible, but the final score made it look like they got absolutely blown out. But if you're a team like LA, you don't go from a Super Bowl contender to only 3-4 points better than the 49ers in 1 week. You just don't do that.
It's a fishy line.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fishy line. I'm not going to lie. Everyone's on the Rams. You guys are braver than me tonight.
Okay. But in my opinion, the Rams are arguably
we got to win one this week, Jared. Look, the public's getting hammered. We got to get one.
The public has been getting absolutely hammered. This is going to be a public bloodbath if the Rams don't cover this.
That's actually true. But we've seen a lot of public blood. I am short-circuiting today. I am having an issue. I don't know what's going on.
That was great. That was the best one of the day.
The last couple of weeks on Sundays. In my opinion, the Rams are arguably one of the most complete teams in the league. Second in total offense, fifth in scoring offense, and a defense that is in the top 10 in most statistical categories. This is a good bounce-back spot, I think, for Sean McVay's squad. And the Rams are 15-6 against the spread after a loss under McVay, 11-3. Against the spread since 2019. 49ers. Oh my God. You guys, I'm really struggling today. 49ers 0-4 against the spread at home this season.
They've been really bad at home. That's a weird. The home teams, I saw it again. They were brutal again yesterday.
Yeah.
Home field advantage is done in the NFL. It's over.
They're the same team that got crushed by Colt McCoy last week, Carson Wentz a few weeks prior, and their 3 wins this season are against the winless Lions, tied. They're still winless, but they're not.
They are winless. That is an accurate.
They're winless. And a pair of 3-win teams, Eagles and Bears, all on the road. So I think it's the Rams
also, let's not forget Von Miller tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a coming out party for one of those guys, either Miller or OBJ.
Everyone's talking OBJ. Yeah. We get Von Miller on that defense. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. Both of your handicaps on this game are totally spot on. But when I see 90% of the action on one side and the line not moving the line not moving in their direction, I get scared. My contrarian brain gets scared.
We are with the people. Lauren, we are with the people tonight.
We are with man and woman of the people.
We are with the people.
Here's the thing. Robert Frost once said, "A path diverged in the woods, and I took the one less traveled." Screw that. I'm taking one that 90% of the people are going down for this game tonight.
That was just at MGM, to be fair. I saw 80. We got the update this morning. 88% of the tickets, 87 of the handle on the Rams.
Let's go.
Okay. Let's go Rams. I've never been a bigger Stafford fan in my life than I am tonight. And that's coming from a girl that's rooted for the Lions for the last 28 years. So let's go Rams.
Good luck.
All right, that's it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to pickswise.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, because we're going live every single day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. You don't want to miss out. We got a Monday night football game tonight. It's going to be really exciting. Week 10 NFL finishing up. Week 11 starting technically tomorrow. Week 12 college football, basketball, hockey. We got it all. So don't miss out. For Alex Glaze, Jared Smith, I'm Lauren Javara. Best of luck tonight, you guys. Let's get it. Let's bet it.